hearing rumors about prostitution at Xavier's.
You know he's running girls out of the club?
Where'd you hear that?
I didn't hear it from anyone.
It's a play. Catch her in the act.
You can touch me if you want.
Well, how about you touch me?
Are you a cop, cowboy?
What's happening, YouTube gang and the returning life gainers? This is going to be my trailer review for episode 4, season 2 of Hightown. Y'all missing out if you're not watching this thing. This is a great show, well written, wonderful, dynamic, diverse, beautiful, sexy cast. And you guys need to go ahead and get up on this. And this is going to be my review to break down some of the clues I found in this episode. Keep in mind, I will have the show creator and showrunner, Rebecca Cutter, this young lady right here, coming through to do an interview with me and my wife when this season is over with. And since BMF is not coming on the next 2 weeks, you might as well binge watch Hightown. It's a great show. You'll definitely love it. If you're finding me for the first time, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so when I drop videos, you get them. Give me a like, my people. And anytime you want to give me comments and you need me to reply back to you, follow me on IG, send me a DM, and we'll get back to you. Let's watch the rest of this trailer, then we'll pick it apart.
Tell me about Sherman Graza, Wayne's niece.
You guys hear about all the car fentanyl deaths on the Cape? That's dangerous business, isn't it?
Sure sounds like it. The Cuevas cousins have killed at least 2 women that we know of. You're not safe.
Very, very first scene, my people. This is my homegirl, Renee, and my wife hates whenever she pops up on the screen because I dearly love Renee. I love the actress playing Renee. She is so special to me, and my wife always rolls her eyes whenever she pops on the screen. But Renee is in a very, very precarious situation, and the title of this episode is Daddy Issues. Wonder who's having the daddy issues. Renee is pregnant. We all know who the baby daddy is. We all know the baby daddy is Ray. But at her club, Club Xavier, Jorge has got his girlfriend doing some prostitution. And of course, Cagney and Lacey right here show up and is like, look, we heard there were some girls being ran out Club Xavier. What you know about that? Now, Renee don't care for Jorge. She know he's crooked as a letter S. And she don't want to deal with him. But she's forced to deal with them because of Frankie, their cousins. She's forced to have to deal with this relationship that she really don't want to be dealing with. And I'm still wondering. She says she's going to get an abortion, but folks, I got a feeling that's not going to happen. And then they cut to a scene where Jorge is in the club. He got his boo thing, dancing on men, alluring men, you know, a little kissy face here and there. And then they cut to a scene where we've got my girl, Miss Renee, talking to Frankie, basically saying, Frankie, I hear your cousin is running girls out the club. And look at that face of Renee, man, just distraught, just despair. I just want to go help this woman get out of all this despair she's in. And Frankie's looking at her like, he almost looking like he want to say, B, where you hear that at? And she's like, well, I just heard it going around. I just heard it. And you know Frankie has got a lot of thoughts going through his head. Even though she tried to sex the thought of Ray out of his mind, 100% believe he ain't over that yet. And then he's got his cousin in his ear who never has been a fan of Renee the whole time. So this is going to blow up, man. And I'm hoping Renee can get away safe and sound. We cut back to Cagney and Lacey talking about how they need to get a police plan in there. And then the very next scene, we see Jorge's boo thing dancing on what we no doubt know is a cop. And basically the cop is like, touch me, sweetheart. And the very next thing comes out of Jorge's boo thing's mouth. Are you a cop? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been to the strip club 4 times in my life, and I'm a 40-year-old person, so that's 1 time a decade. And I did meet a girl who basically told me, this is what she said to me, if you ain't screwing, you ain't making no money. So in a lot of clubs, this type of thing happens. But they always say one of the ways to get around it is you ask the guy if he's a cop or not because of some kind of self-incriminating, something to that effect. Well, I work out with a lot of cops, and they'll tell you right now that don't necessarily mean anything if they're in an investigation. So there you go. And Cagney and Lacey is looking at this thing with intent and entertainment, pleasures, because obviously she knows the rigmarole of how this thing's going. And she's really not trying to incriminate herself. So I don't think that this attempt to get her is going to work. Then we get to Alan, who goes to the prison to talk to Aceto about Charmaine. Now, Aceto is going to, of course, throw shade. He's not going to give up Charmaine. But at the same time, Aceto's got to remember, they do keep a record of who has come to visit your ass in prison. And Sergeant Allen seems to be a very smart guy to some degree. And I'm sure they're going to check the rolls to just kind of cross-reference to see who's been in there to visit Aceto. And when they see Charmaine, if she even used that name, which she didn't because she had a fake ID to get up in there, remember she's young, they're probably going to question who was this person who we don't know name belongs to. And then they might can figure out a way to trace that back to Charmaine. And then they cut to a scene where Charmaine is in somebody's home. I don't know if she's got a place back in the P or if this is somewhere back upstate where she's hanging out at. But guess who's in there talking to her? Ray the civilian, Sergeant Allen. Now might come back to bite Sergeant Allen in the butt too, because you in here fraternizing with Ray. And of course they're asking her about chlorfentanyl and it killing people. And she's just like, word? Yeah, that's probably dangerous. You know, I don't want to be messing with that. But the story on this one is, my people, Sergeant Allen is playing with a ticking time bomb. You cannot trust Ray. Ray is the situation. They in this mess right now, and you up here dealing with him all over again, and you know he's itching to get back in this thing. He's going to make a mistake. And I just wonder if Charmaine is going to put two and two together, go relay this information back to Frankie and Jorge, because the next clip we see Frankie and Jorge outside discussing something outside of a gas station. And then we see Jorge looking at Frank in the club. And I'm sure one of these conversations has something to do with maybe Charmaine coming back, talking to them about people sniffing around, asking her questions. And then probably the other conversation, it's got something to do with Frankie telling Jorge, you need to be more careful about pimping out your girl. And that's 100% for sure. Then on the very end of the clip, we hear Jackie voicing over, telling somebody it's very dangerous what you done got yourself into. And then they strategically cut to a scene where we see Jorge's booth thing looking very scared, very distraught, intently afraid in the last scene. But Jackie's on the beach having this discussion with a woman. And I'm wondering if she's talking to Jorge's girlfriend, or she could be talking to Donna. Because remember, we are going to get Donna. She's going to be working with Jackie on the inside, helping her get information. And this thing is about to be a diabolical twist of blow-ups, my people. And I certainly hope you guys are watching Hightown. It is a great show, well-written, great cast. I just got finished singing the praises of how much I love Renee. I do love Jackie as well. I love the whole cast. They're all great. But one thing I want you to keep in mind with this team of Cagney and Lacey, Leslie continues to have ulterior motives, my people. I wouldn't be surprised if she's working for Frankie or Jorge or somebody on the inside, and Jackie had better watch her back. That's going to do it for this breakdown of episode 4, season 2 of Hightown. Please leave me all your comments on if you think I'm headed in the right direction, how much you've enjoyed the show. Please share this content with all your friends, because if they feel like they have a void in things to watch, this is a damn good show and something that can get their juices going. Don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe. If you want to talk to me one-on-one, want to get a comment into me, follow me on IG, and then hit me with a DM. Till that next sexy as hell video, I'll see you.